me along. I'm trying to right my wrongs, but it's funny them same wrongs. Let me write this song now. I gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day you die, you gon' touch the sky. You gon' touch the sky, baby girl. Testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day you die, you gon' touch the sky.
Shout out to the George Michael reference. Hey, good morning. Just don't call the cops, it's just the late night ops. It is December 3rd, 2020. We're almost there to fucking 2021. It's like taking a little footstep into the future. But we do that every day. Every day we wake up in the future, just like little by little. But everything great is a process, and the future is a process. So shout out to heading towards the future. Shout out to Toasty Digital for this Christmas vibes. I like it. Shout out to putting some George Michael samples in there. Rest in peace. And he actually died, I think right on Christmas, 2016. Yeah, December 25th, 2016. So rest in peace. Very inspiring guy. So, hey, this is kind of funny. So Chris Collinsworth, shout out to Chris Collinsworth. I think he's cool. Well, he got in a bit of trouble. I know. It's easy to get in trouble these days, right? Very easy. Pretty much anything you say. Well, he made a comment during the Ravens-Pittsburgh game yesterday, where he basically said he's like surprised that women knew football. And here's what he said.
In particular, the ladies that I met, they had really specific questions about the game. I'm like, wow, you're just blown away by how strong the fans are here in this town. In particular, the ladies that I met, they had really specific questions about the game. I'm like, wow, you're just blown away by how strong the fans are.
So that's all he said. I guess, meant it as a compliment, but that's certainly not how I came across. Look, you can get mad at every fucking word a guy says, but, yeah, I mean, I don't think he's like a bad guy, and I think all he meant was, you know, if you live in the real world and you face, like, what really goes on, yeah, it would be a fact that women probably do know less about football. It's not, like he's like, it's not like he's like saying that they're fucking stupid and they don't watch football. He just said he was surprised that they're knowledgeable. It'd be the same as like, It'd be the same as like a girl being surprised that a guy knows about like ice skating or something. It's not typical. So they're kind of surprised by it. So shout out to trying to make everything a problem. Cause yeah, I think he's cool. I think he's a good commentator, first of all. He had a cool career. He seems to live a good life. So I don't see a need to like I don't see a need to try to like attack this guy for no reason. But that's the world we live in. Yeah, and he had to tweet an apology, which I think is ridiculous. But yeah, he says, today on a broadcast I made a reference to a couple of women that I met in Pittsburgh who so impressed me with their football knowledge that I want to tell their story on the air. I know that the way I phrased it insulted many. I'm so sorry. What I intended as a compliment to the fans of Pittsburgh became an insult. I'm sick about insulting any fan, but especially female fans and journalists. I know firsthand how hard and how much harder they have to work than any of us in the industry. I was wrong, and I deeply apologize. So, shout out to the fact that I guess he can look inward, but I mean, I really don't see a reason to like apologize, because you know, I'm team fucking women all the way, but I'm also like, what is right and what makes sense, like, so. Shout out to fucking a couple people getting mad, and then it trends, and then it becomes like a thing, and people think, oh, wow, I'm such a good fucking person, because I am trying to ruin a completely innocent fucking broadcast. Yeah, I don't think Chris Collinsworth has fucking evil intentions and shit. He seems like a pretty alright guy, but, you know, you gotta understand when you're live on air, sometimes your mind goes a little quicker. So, I mean, you're just kind of speaking right out. So, maybe if you had time, you would have thought of like a different way to put it. But yeah, I really don't see anything wrong with that. So that's just an issue that is actually not an issue. Huh? So shout out. I will enjoy all the Sunday Night Footballs left that they both have, Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels. I like them both, but I'm sure whoever, you know, does it next will be great. But I enjoy that. And shout out to Tony Romo, who would probably be my second favorite NFL commentator. But yeah. I don't see any need to apologize, but that's the world, and that's the negative side of Twitter. There's a lot of good parts about Twitter. There's a lot of good parts about everything. But everything has a positive side, negative side. And if you just, if you're able to see the positives and learn from that, and also be aware that some negative parts are there, as long as you're aware of it, aware of the difference, then that's what's most important. A real quick update, that Linux AMC that was going to close, it's been saved. The Linux AMC in Columbus. Oh, I put yeah. So it was announced like a couple days ago that it was gonna be closed permanently, but a Knoxville, Tennessee based Phoenix Theaters. Phoenix Theaters Entertainment is taking over operations at the 24-screen multiplex with hopes of reopening before Christmas Day, according to NBC4. So that's great. And I know it's like a pretty fucked up time to have a theater even opened, but I'm not a guy that wants all movies to be on stream. I mean, a couple movies that came out, you know, I watched their the Netflix releases and all that, and it's nice and all, it's convenient, but nothing beats the fun of like actually going to a theater. You get a fucking 90-foot screen, that's a plus. You get a nice chair. You get some super expensive candy. Shout out to the fact that I remember trying to get a Yahoo at a movie theater, and it was $3.99. And you know the thing about Yahoo is, or Yoo-hoo. Yeah, I guess it is called Yoo-hoo. The thing about Yoo-hoo is it's so good and it's so easy to drink it that a little Yoo-hoo can last about 5 seconds. But yeah, that's one of the most classic good drinks. So shout out to fucking Yoo-hoo, and shout out to movie theaters making expensive candy, because I guess that's like 90% of how they make their money, which is something I probably should think about more. Because yeah, I've rejected that, and I'm the guy. Well, yeah, I think it's a classic thing, and I was kind of brought up to you know, walk over to the Dollar Tree. You know, you get a box of candy, stuff it in your pants, and you walk through the movie theater and sneak it in. I remember sneaking a soda into a movie theater once, and this guy took the soda and told me to come get it, or took our sodas and told us to come back and get it later. Like, man, you can keep the fucking last bits of soda in a fucking warm soda that's been opened and now sitting in his office for probably 3 hours. So yeah, I don't really see the need for that. But yeah, that makes me think, when theaters do get back open, I'm gonna, I guess, try to buy stuff from inside the theater, which seems, you know, it's very expensive, but that really is how they get most of their money. So especially with the pandemic and stuff, I would try to opt into that. So I need to be careful, because I've been driving a windowless fucking Sidekick in the cold for fun, and yeah, I'm not trying to catch a fucking cold. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much perfect for this weather. I pretty much can confirm that the Sidekick is almost unstoppable as far as like if it's running. So shout out to that. So here are some funny names of real cities in America, and this is from dumb.com. So there's a Santa Claus, Indiana. Hey, there's a Idiotville, Oregon, a former logging community near Portland that is now a ghost town. Most of the people used to live there, work at a local logging camp, but it was so far away, locals said they must be idiots to live there. Shout out. Nothing, Arizona. Now abandoned, it was settled in 1977. It once had a gas station, a small convenience store, and a pizza place. Hey, sounds like several towns around this area. Now abandoned. Because, you know, a small town, what do they got? You got a gas station, a pizza shop, possibly a post office, maybe a school. But yeah, Two Egg, Florida. Shout out to fucking Two Egg, Florida. During the Great Depression, two local boys would shop at the general store for their mom, trading 2 eggs for a package of sugar. The store got its nickname, the Two Egg Store, which led to the town's name. 2 eggs for a package of sugar. Is that a good deal? Yeah, I think so. 2 eggs for a pack of sugar. I mean, I guess it depends on like how big of a thing of sugar. I wonder if there's any possible way of the world of being like some like barter system. Booger Town, North Carolina. Possibly named for a man with the last name of Booger. Hey, shout out to the fact that when I was younger, when I was like in like 3rd, 4th grade, I thought my middle name was Astor. And I thought it was not Astor, but I thought it was Asdor. So I was like telling people I'm Aaron Asdor Jacobson. But shout out to the fact that my middle name's Berger. And it sounds like burger, booger, Berger. But yeah, I'm not a fucking Astor, I'm a fucking Berger. Rough and Ready, California. Oh. Founded as a mining town, it was named after General Zachary Taylor, nicknamed Old Rough and Ready, who had recently been elected the 12th President of the United States. Wow, shout out to a president that far. 12. Alright, well this guy, I'm not gonna lie, I've never heard of him. Which I feel stupid because he's the president. 12th President Zachary Taylor. Okay, well Zachary Taylor, 12th President. Also of note is that Rough and Ready is the only mining town to have seceded from the Union and then voted itself back in. It seceded to avoid the tax on new mining claims and the prohibition of alcohol. On top of that, the U.S. Postal Service was demanding they change the name of their town to either Rough or Ready, but not both. They're like, hey, you either gotta be rough or ready. You can't be rough and ready. Well, maybe you gotta do both. You gotta be rough and ready. Because, you know, if you're rough and you're not ready, then it don't matter. And if you're ready, but you're not rough, then it cancels it out too. Hell, Michigan. I've heard of that one. Hell, Michigan. The town was started by George Reeves, who moved to the area in the 1830s from the Catskill Mountains in New York. He ran a sawmill, grist mill, distillery, and tavern. When asked what he thought the town should be called, he replied, "I don't care. You can name it Hell for all I care." An alternative theory is that a pair of German travelers stepped out of a stagecoach One sunny afternoon in the 1830s, one said to the other, "So shone hell," which translates to "so beautifully bright." Their comment was overheard by the locals and the name stuck, or the name could have been from the hell-like conditions early explorers encountered, such as mosquitoes and wetlands. Hey, I think I know a part of the reason why I've always liked Cleveland. Well, first of all, it's just it's got like a cozy vibe, and it's got that lake effect shit. Shout out to the lake effect. And yeah, here in Ohio, we have to like hate Michigan because our colleges like are close or something like that, and they won't even say. It's a thing here where you can't even say Michigan. They're like, you have to say that team up north. So I mean, I like traditions like that, but it really does get crazy where like to the point where it's almost like past football. Like Ohio people, like they seem to like passionately hate fucking Michigan people. And it's like, guys, we're all fucking really similar. And Ohio is my heart. I love Ohio. But yeah, Michigan seems nice. It's got recreational, first of all. They got lakes. They're shaped like a glove. We went there on a family vacation a long, long time ago. Because I guess we last minute planned. And I remember I remember being like sarcastic, like, "Psh, this is gonna suck ass." But we went up there, and I really need to figure out where it was exactly. But we went up to some like shoreline, and I remember it being really, really, really beautiful. And like, I know sometimes like nostalgic memories like that maybe get played up in your head, like it's like a little snapshot in your mind. But yeah, I remember being completely shocked that it was that nice. I'm like, wait, what do we hate Michigan for again? Oh yeah, because our colleges are like, somewhat close. Like the next close big college. But I know, I get it's just like a college football tradition. It's probably the most storied rivalry in college football. But I definitely have opted out on college football for a little bit. I can maybe see myself getting back into it because I would like to know. The main reason is because I would like to know the draft stuff. Because when the draft comes, I don't know any of them. Except the main ones like Burrow and stuff like that. But yeah, that would be a reason. And yeah, I'm just more of an NFL guy. Johnstown, Texas. The town's name comes from the name of the fictional store in the Lum and Abner radio show, which ran from 1931 to 1954. The show was set in the fictional town of Pine Ridge, Arkansas, and Lum and Abner were co-owners of the store. So, Johnstown, Texas, that's cool. Hey, Lizard Lick, North Carolina. The town may have been named due to passerby who saw many lizards sunning and licking themselves on a rail fence. Or it could be because it was home to federally operated liquor still and lizards were brought in to cut down on the insects. The town became famous in 1998 when Nintendo first released the Nintendo 64 game Yoshi's Story. There, due to Yoshi's ability to extend his tongue over a long distance. The town gained nationwide fame again in 2011 when the True TV cable network created a reality show called Lizard Lake Towing, about a local towing repo business run by honorary Mayor Ronnie Shirley and his wife. Hey, I just realized that. I remember that show, and it seems so realistic, but it's definitely scripted for sure. But I mean, shout out to the fact that they set it up very well. But yeah, I mean, you gotta. I think that's the thing. A lot of things on true TV are not true. But it's entertaining, so. Hot Coffee, Mississippi. Hey, remember that little boozy guy? Remember how he like killed somebody and then he went to jail and then people were like, hey, free boozy. It's like, alright, yeah. But he killed somebody, so maybe keep him in there. But at least for a little bit. But yeah, I remember him making that Independent song. And even though independent's not that hard of a word to spell, I know that during that time, everybody learned how to spell independent. Because he's saying it out. So when that song came out, I don't think anybody ever spelled independent wrong in this fucking town again. And shout out to the fact that I know I always fuck up the word definitely when I try to spell it, right? So I think the best trick is making it separate and then just like creating a saying out of it. So definitely, def, in it, Eli, E-L-Y. And I think the mistake I was making the whole time was putting L-E-Y. Just the E-L-Y. So def, in it, Lee. We'll do a couple more here. Earth, Texas, started in 1924. That's not funny, that's more just like nice. Earth, Texas. Started in 1924 as Fair Lawn, but a year later they had to change the name because there was already another Fair Lawn in Texas. The town folks sent suggestions and voted on the best name. So we'll go through some real quick. Chunky, Mississippi. Christmas, Florida. Waterproof, Louisiana. Hey, the last thing Louisiana is waterproof. They're under it. In the 1830s, this area was a popular spot for covered wagons crossing the Mississippi River, carrying settlers bound for Texas. Some got tired on the long journey and made a home in what is now waterproof. Much of the time, the area was flooded, and one of these times, an early settler named Abner stood high and dry up on a small strip of land, waiting for a steamboat, and the captain cried out to him, "Well, Abner, I see you're waterproof." Ah, and that's how the town got its name. Ding Dong, Texas. Cut and Shoot, Texas. Accident, Maryland. No Name, Colorado. When Interstate 70 was being built, the developers planned an exit and then unnamed area and marked the sign No Name. People who lived there decided to keep that name. Hey, that's kind of like, we got a cat, Kitty, Miss Kitty, I guess, or Grandma Kitty, whatever you want to call her. But we got her a long time ago. And yeah, we just like called her Kitty at first, and that just kind of stuck. And then as she got older, we just called her Grandma Kitty. Because she's like 20, literally like 21. So it's a cat that has been around a long time. And shout out to Kitty for still rocking, kicking ass. Dinkytown, Minnesota. Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. A spa city with a 2012 population of 6,411. Its original name was Hot Springs due to several hot springs within the city. But in 1950, the name was changed to Truth or Consequences to match the hit NBC radio quiz show because the host, Ralph Edwards, said he would air the program from the first town that renamed itself after the show. Edwards then visited the town during the first weekend of May for the next 50 years. Hey, that's pretty cool. Well, shout out to New Mexico for really being one of the most beautiful places in America, I think. I mean, I think there's a lot of, like, sketchy people maybe, and, like, no disrespect, but maybe like that, or, like, there's not anything really there. But if you look, there is. Because some places have buildings, some places have, like, monuments and stuff, and some are just the natural beauty. And as far as natural beauty, New Mexico, Montana, Arizona, yeah. I consider those definitely my three, like, favorite West states. Why Arizona? Two major highways originally intersected the town in a Y intersection. They could not call it Y like they wanted because at the time Arizona law required all city town names to have at least 3 letters. So they used Y instead. It's like when people would text things back with, like, old phones, and they have all these, like, weird words, like spelled good, G-U-D, put a 2, write duh. So by the time you send a text, you're either retarded or just not taking the time. But I mean, that's the thing. There was a reason for that, because it's not as easy to text. But I also noticed that it's almost easier to text on a flip sometimes. Because the touchscreen, you just are feeling around, and there's no physical thing to actually notice any difference. So with the flip phone, you just put your finger on the center, it'll have a little bump on it, and bam, you just, like, you don't even gotta look. So texting and driving, obviously, I try to always stay away from. I throw my phone in the back or in my bag or something. But if there is a situation where I'm texting and driving, I'm not gonna pretend I don't do whatever. But I've done it before, but I think it's safer with the flip phone. Because as long as you know that shit, you can just... And you don't even gotta take your eyes off the road, bro. But that is something I probably shouldn't do at all, and nobody should do at all, because... I mean... That's just like a split-second decision that can really have some, like, serious repercussions. Shout out to Kanye for making seatbelts cool. Yeah. I'm in a good habit of most of that, and try to think about that. So we're just gonna go through the list here real quick. Nameless, Texas. Bald Head Island, North Carolina. Monkey Eyebrows, Kentucky. Cookie Town, Oklahoma. In the early 1900s, the owner of the general store gave a cookie to a child who exclaimed, "I don't want to leave Cookie Town." Shout out to Cookie Town. Shout out to Oklahoma being another kind of empty-ish state, but it's just beautiful. And same with Kansas. I've always wanted to see... I want to see a field of sunflowers and, like, I think that would be amazing. Like a big field of sunflowers. Because the sun represents light and joy, and a flower represents like growing and being part of the earth. So when you combine the two, it's like, hey, this is the beauty of what everything creates. And it's like a pretty nice like that. Nebraska too. I mean, that's probably the most nothing fucking state there is. But it's just flat and pretty, and you know, they all got their glory. That's what I love. I want to go to other countries too. But that's what I love about the United States. We just got it all here. Every kind of landscape, just all kinds of mysteries, and got a little bit of everything. Some states are built for appreciating the natural beauty, and then some are built for like city landscapes. And whether it's what God created or what, you know, we made as far as buildings, it's all beautiful. Shout out to Utah, that's another one I like. Carefree, Arizona. Fry's, West Virginia. Gassville, Arkansas. Shout out to Gas. Shout out to... yeah, I usually got more gas in my ass than in my car. Hippo, Kentucky. Electric, Alabama. Bee Hunter, Indiana. Cheesequake, New Jersey. The name comes from the Lenape word Chesapeake, meaning upland. Bigfoot, Texas. Brilliant, Ohio, which I've never heard of. Brilliant. Let's see what that is. Just because we're local to that. Alright, Brilliant, Ohio. Okay, it's in the Jefferson County. Okay. Ohio has 88 counties. Town of Duck, North Carolina. Humansville, Missouri. Shout out to humans in a ville. Hey, Loving Ladies, New Jersey. Maybe this is where Chris Collinsworth should go. Thomas Lovelady owned a small 10-acre island near what is now the town, and the area was called Love Ladies, that later evolved into Love Ladies. Love Ladies, New Jersey. Kermit, West Virginia. Oddville, Kentucky. Wahoo, Nebraska. Mexican Hat, Utah. Named for an overturned sombrero-shaped rock formation 60 foot wide by 12 foot thick on the edges of town. Ooh. That's pretty cool. I want to see if we can get an image of that. Mexican Hat, Utah. Yeah, shout out to Utah. There's a... wow. I have seen that thing. Okay. Well, yeah, shout out to Utah. They got these things called salt flats that I think that's where... salt... yeah, I want to stand in a salt flat someday and drive a car through it, because it looks out of this world. Utah salt flats at night. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it literally looks like a fucking other planet. It's very beautiful. Alright, well, hey, the ops don't stop, alright? This is the Late Night Ops TV. Uh, Late Night Ops pod. With the coming back to 9 at 9. So shout out to being Thursday. Shout out to the tree lighting last night. Shout out to it being sunny. And shout out to Christmas vibes. And shout out to just like living every day, even if you feel like kind of rough in the inside, or you know, keeping the faith in yourself and knowing that you just got to keep striving, because that's all we can do in life. Wake up, strive, do our best, take the cards we've been given, and operate. So yeah, the ops don't stop, and thank you for watching, and I will be back tonight for the Late Night Ops live TV radio hour podcast tonight at 9. And yeah, that's getting a little bit more clear on what that is exactly going to be, so that's exciting. So shout out, props, and everybody take care. The ops, we'll see you tonight.